Inspirational posters. We've all seen them. A stunning photograph and a few words to encourage, enlighten or empower the reader. They're found in both domestic and business settings, and I fucking despise them. You'll only see one of these posters in an office if it's run by a failing manager who only achieved his position through a combination of nepotism and corporate cocksucking. And if you see one in a person's home, you know without looking that on the adjacent wall are the words live, laugh, love. To be frank, I would rather walk into a stranger's living room and be met with a 6-foot neon flashing swastika flanked by burning crosses and a goat tethered to an altar. Because a white supremacist devil-worshipping Nazi might be interesting conversation. Anyone who owns an inspirational poster isn't. And a group of software engineers, who presumably had nothing better to do, decided to see if a computer program could come up with its own inspirational posters. The answer to that question is, sort of. If this is where artificial intelligence currently is, we don't need to worry just yet about Cyberdyne Systems building Terminators. So we'll go through some of these computer-generated posters, and I'll try and sound inspirational. Make sure everyone is aware that you are dumb and famous. That could be a fucking mantra for the 21st century. It applies to everyone who's been on reality TV. Kick people you don't know when they're burning trash in the backyard. There's something deep and profound about that. I just don't know what it is. Be the reason. That's a great start. Be the reason, be the spark, be the catalyst, be the agent of change. Be the reason why a politician has a mental breakdown in a public restroom. Actually, it's been a while since an MP was caught doing something untoward in a public bog. Back in the 80s and 90s, they were always at it. I guess technology has moved things on and they can get their rent boys from Amazon. I'm not alleging that Jeff Bezos is involved in the sex trade. I'm not QAnon. Keep on urinating or you might become harmonious. Not a clue. Keep dreaming yourself brainwashed. That's one for the conspiracy theorists. The people who say that everyone's being brainwashed whilst they sit at home watching YouTube videos at 4 in the morning thinking the government's spying on them. A wilderness is never just a pair of eyes. And I guess romantically that makes sense, you can get lost in someone's eyes. A wilderness is never just a pair of eyes, but it's not a watermelon. Don't let a punch in the face get in the way of boredom. I'm not entirely sure what the message is here. I guess it is better to be bored than violently assaulted. Don't communicate, ejaculate. There's some useful advice. If you're in a meeting and you're unsure what to say, just come on the person next to you. Stop being an idiot. That should be on the login screen for TikTok. A blood sacrifice might just be the solution to all of your problems. You know that Satanist I mentioned at the start of the video? Might be worth giving him a call. The experience of being a mother can be a lot similar to being a garbage man. I agree with that one. I often see people out with their screaming kids and think it would be best for everyone if they were loaded into the back of a lorry and incinerated. Cocaine can push you to find all the Pokemon. I never really got into Pokemon. I remember a few years ago when people were playing Pokemon Go on their mobile phones. If they'd all been coked up, they would have been a lot more lively. And if they'd taken LSD, they wouldn't have needed their phone to see them. The only thing that is blocking you from permanent happiness is your gun. That one's somewhat ambiguous. Is the message that the gun is making them unhappy, or a subtle hint they should go on a rampage? Together, we can make poor people fall down a flight of stairs. I'm glad the computer understands the brutality of the British class system. And finally, a traffic jam can be a message from God telling you not to get a boyfriend. That one is my favourite, not just because it makes no sense, but if we look at the image, why is there an atomic bomb going off? None of those would pass a Turing test. Named of course after the great Alan Turing, the brilliant mathematician who built the machine that broke the Germans' Enigma code. A man who later killed himself because he was prosecuted and persecuted for being homosexual. So fucking well done, Britain. I think it's quite clear we've got a few decades yet before society is taken over by our robotic overlords. As ever, thanks for watching.